Little guy on the hover rig, but it's watching this little bait ball in the graph, and saw one go down on it. And sure enough, my line tightened up. It's fun playing around with new stuff. Man, the sucker was not coming off. It hooked some good. There you go, little guy. All right, we're throwing this little hover rig around by Core Taco, and I've got a little spunk shed on there, but I'm gonna change it out. I'll show you what this looks like, and I'll show you how to rig it up. So it's just essentially a jig head. This is like I think it's like a 1/0 hook. This is the 3/32 size. They have a 3/32 and an 1/8 ounce, but you just got lead tied along the shank. You got a wire keeper, 90-degree line tie, and then this little, I think it's like a size 1/0. I mean, it's a baby hook. So I've got this is a TRD Z-Man plastics. So I like to stretch that out a little bit. And then all you're doing is you're gonna, instead of going in the top like you normally do, you're gonna go in a 1/4 inch down, okay? So I want the white down, so I'm gonna come in on the green pumpkin side. I'm just gonna go in like a 1/4 of an inch right there. And this stuff's really stretchy, so it's perfect for this concept. So you're coming in like this, you gotta get it nice and straight. Z-Man plastic's a little bit tricky to work with, but you just keep finagling it around and it'll work out. So you just thread her up on there, and then I'm gonna come out about right there. I'll thread it all the way up, keep on working it up. So here's the cool part. When you get to right here, you're gonna grab this front of this plastic and pull it like that, and it goes right over the nose. That's the whole deal. So there you go, that's a little hover rig. Throw that sucker out, and probably, I might actually trim that nose down a little bit, kind of taper it, so it comes to the bar a little bit better. But we're just playing around with this, trying to get a feel for it. It's a new technique, and like I said, I hadn't really heard of it, but I hadn't really gave it a second thought until we had Matt Stefan on the live stream. But super finesse. I'm throwing it on 8-pound test. There he is. Hover rig with a fluke. Little guy. Seeing a bunch of fish out here, but I'm trying to figure out what bait to put on this to make them bite. It's just a little super fluke. This jig head, the hover rig, is available through Core Tackle. Core Tackle is a company that was started with Matt Stefan and Jonny Schultz of Fish the Moment. They did some tinkering. They came up with this jig head. It's available in, I believe, 4 different sizes, and there are more sizes on the horizon. So if you're interested in this, go check out Core Tackle, and they have a couple other items on there that are unique, but look for more sizes coming out in the future. Okay folks, that was my first trip out with the hover rig. I got to play around with it for an hour or so, and some of the things I learned about it. First, don't let the size of this hook deceive you. This is a 3/64, I believe, size head, and it has a 1/0 hook, but the fish that I did catch were pinned. So this small hook, you know, one thing about a small hook is it really gets them. Once you get a hook in that fish, it has a tendency to pin them. A couple reasons. I mean, obviously it's a really light wire hook, so it doesn't take much force to penetrate the roof of the fish's mouth, and it also
doesn't have a big diameter, so it doesn't rip a big hole. So once you get that fish pinned, just like a drop shot hook, typically when you get them on a drop shot hook, you're not going to lose them. It's the same concept. Secondly, this little wire weed guard is just enough to help keep it out of light cover, like grass and rocks and stuff, but it collapses really well. So when you just pull into them, this weed guard gets out of the way, and it kind of puts pressure on the roof of the mouth and keeps it pinned. So great hook design. Another thing is the way it falls. It's got a real gliding action. The weight is down the shank of the hook, where a ball head, your weight is going to be out towards the front, so it's going to have more of this kind of action. This thing is balanced to really hover. That's why it's called the hover rig. So the ways I was fishing it was I was casting a lot of the fish on live scope and gliding it down. Some of them would show interest as it was just falling, but you could also engage your reel when you get it down a few feet above the fish and just kind of let it pendulum down. Like the fish is right here, you're just letting the bait fall, and then you're engaging your spinning reel and just kind of tight lining it and just kind of letting it hover like this. And you can reel it really slow and just kind of do a little shake every now and then, and it just kind of glides. It's a different presentation, but I haven't fished it a whole lot, so that's part of the reason why I did this video. I'm sure there's people that are watching this that have got a lot more experience with the hover rig. Is it something that I need to continue to fish more? Have you had a lot of success on it? And also, what are some of the baits that you have used with it and had success? Leave that stuff in the comment section. I'd really appreciate that. I used a shaky head worm, I used a centipede, I used a spunk shad by Hog Farmer, and I also used a fluke. They all had a little bit different action. Stefan, who was on our live streams, we do live streams on Monday nights at 8 o'clock, he said a beaver bait is one of the best style baits to use. So that's something I'm going to do next time I go out and start experimenting with this. I'm going to actually throw it a little shallower and fish it more like a Texas rig or something of that sort. I fish a stupid tube a lot, so I'm going to kind of see how it compares to the stupid tube. It's got to have similar action just based on the way it's rigged up. So thanks for checking out the video. Give me a thumbs up if you appreciate the content, and a subscribe would greatly be appreciated. Until next time.